Oh yes indeed, very interesting spells. How to give a frog gigantic Oh, hello there. Welcome to my shop, dear adventurer. What can I interest you in today? Oh, you gearing up your party, are you? Well, I have amazing things, weapons and spells. Do you see yourself more as a swords person? Or perhaps I can intrigue you with a bit more of a automatic carbine. Or spellbooks that make frogs grow boobs.
This is just unhinged. What is my job, man? We also sell pets. A link available in the description permanently now. Mwah. Man, the light is really beautiful because it's actually sunny for the first time for like 6 months in Sweden. So we'll see when the sun sets and I'm just sitting here in absolute darkness. Good evening, laddies, lasses, and lassos. Welcome to the Click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Today we're doing something I have been looking forward to for quite a while. We're looking at D&D memes and everything that comes with RPG games and adventures and quirky parties. It's so good. I've been playing way too much D&D with my friends in recent times, so I have some juicy stories to share, some juicy memes to share, and I'll probably brag a bit about my own adventures as well, because this seems the perfect time to do so. Enjoy. Mwah. And remember to pick up your own magic follower pet in the description, yes indeed. Mwah. But click, aren't you advertising your plushes and everything? Shut. First, we have to make you a character. Pick a race. You mean like Asian? Can you imagine that? Just D&D, but everything is like real. Oh no, that'd be so uncomfortable. That'd be no, that's so uncomfortable. I mean, some of the races are of course inspired by mythology from various regions. I mean, dwarves are typically quite Scottish, for example. Druids sometimes have red hair because I believe that's where the mythology comes from, those regions, like Irish mythology and Welsh and that kind of stuff, and places where red hair would be very common. So in some instances, it sorta makes sense and has inspiration from reality, but man, that would be uncomfortable. God, who would win? An ancient red dragon or F-35 Lightning II? I suppose it depends. Do the missiles count as fire damage? In that case, it's probably immune. Or do they count as like blunt damage or something like that at first? In that case, I think the dragon would just blow up. Who would win? 1 rat swarm, 24 HP, or 24 rats, 24 HP? Today we're asking the important questions. I just feel like this could be a surprise encounter. You open a box of food or something and it's just a swarm of rats. Ooh, goody. A paladin with 17 charisma, seducing more things than the bard. Bard, can I see your holy texts? Paladin, pray boy. Yes, indeed, how to get down in prayer with your friends. Yes, indeed. Oh there, little heathen, come along to my bedchambers and we will pray together. What's that? I'm not wearing pants. The prayers work better when your entire body can work as a conduit to the great Lord. Conduit to my ass. Amatis.
Just a reminder, if you like this, you must also be okay with this.
Both is good. This actually reminded me, I'm gonna implement 2 unique shops in my ongoing D&D adventure. One is gonna be a shop where you can buy additional pieces for a flying airship my party has acquired, which is gonna be super cute because they can customize it all like sim stuff, and they're gonna have pets in there and storages and like bubble baths and shit. It's gonna be beautiful. And the other thing is gonna be a bikini armor shop, and the scampier something is, the higher armor rating it's going to offer. And the most supreme one is gonna be like a magnetic bikini armor or something, so it doesn't matter if it covers everything because it just goes, you know, everything just goes away from you because magnetism. It's gonna be so good. I imagine the final tier of armor for the male character is just gonna be like 1 sock, and that's it. You can use your imagination to where that sock would fit. You claim that an F-35 Lightning II could beat me, but the original meme never explicitly specified that the jet had a pilot. Ergo, raw, the only real way to play. I melt this stationary hunk of metal. Checkmate, artificers. I mean, it's kind of fair though. Is the plane already like flying and far enough away to fire missiles, or is it just sitting on the ground waiting for its turn to lift off? Because in that case, it would just get flomped and chomped. There's so much context to this that is missing. Discuss in the comments, please. Engagement? Here I come. Be a level 1 creature with 4 HP. Get summoned by a level 2 character saying that you need to carry a barrel of inflammable products to a room filled with spiders. Do the job and get engulfed by an explosion. 6d6 fire damage, reflex DC 20. Have an insane reflex for your level, +8, and pass the save, taking half damage. Have resistance 5 to fire damage. Kill all the spiders and survive with 1 HP. Comes back from the suicide mission. Skeleton guard, oh yes indeed. This is so beautiful though, I love this. Oh my god, that's so creative. This is why I love D&D, and it varies so much depending on who you play with. My favorite combination is always when you have a party that's like 70% serious, but they still muck around just enough to create the funny situations. That's like the best combination.
You versus the Druid, he tells you not to worry about it. Oh my god.
To be fair, we can we can all shapeshift together, and you know, everyone is just gonna be happy, so to say. Oh, is that like a thing people do in D&D adventures? If they're into each other and they're like, sorry, you're not really my type, and then they just shift into something else, and they're like, damn, I'm down with that. This seems like it would go nuts in the furry party. Not that I know what that is. I have no idea what that is. I've just seen that word around, and I'm just trying to sound cool for the kids. Thieves Can't Comics presents the Type of Metagaming. Standard.
Alright, we're headed to a troll canyon. Make sure you can do fire damage.
Helpful. I got a 16. Its AC is either a 13 or 14, so I deal 34 damage. Incorrect.
That zombie bit you! It's only a matter of time before you turn.
Psychopathic.
Call it whatever you want, but children don't live on the 8th floor of mega dungeons. That's our vampire. Stake her!
Just to be safe, we stake all of the children. I feel that could be a very like Warhammer 40k inspired campaign, when it's just a team of paladins that are like super uber righteous, and if there's one little corrupt demon or something in a town, they just purge the entire town just to make sure no one else is afflicted, you know? This could be a campaign. It would get really dark really quick though. Like, no offense to my friends and family, but if I had the chance to abandon this timeline for a medieval fantasy land, I would absolutely do it. Goodbye, student loans and depression. Hello, cool magic, shite, and most likely an early death by the sword, as it should be.
You will? Have fun shitting in outhouses and losing loved ones to the plague, trademark.
Medieval fantasy, not actual medieval times, you impudent fool.
Have fun crapping in outhouses and losing loved ones to the goblin raiders, trademark.
Well, that's more the like it. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I think I would really miss my shower after about, 3 days of walking around in the mud. Like having guts sprayed all over you when you stab countless little things to death. It will get really gross real quick, unless you have like some kind of cleaning spell. Then I'm more down with this. If you have spells that just makes up for like healthcare and and basic hygiene, then you're all set. Then it would be pretty good overall. And then you like have a lifespan of about 3 years average until you get eaten by a dragon or something. I'm fine with that. That's actually a good question for the comments. If you could move to any kind of universe you would like and have some kind of catch that actually made it comfortable, which universe would you move to? Like a medieval universe where you had spells for like healthcare and cleanliness, for example, or a zombie apocalypse universe where you had like something that would give you equivalent things where you wouldn't have to worry about sickness or like dirtiness or anything like that. Like, which universe would you go to if you could just somehow magically, in this case it works, cancel out all the nasty stuff that would normally make it not so enjoyable? Let me know, I'm interested to hear the replies. Engine whacking people with his loot. His official frickin' stat block. Reinforced loot, melee weapon attack, +5 to hit, reach 5 feet, 1 target hit 6, 1d8 +2, bludgeoning damage +11, 2d10 thunder damage. Wait, does that mean it's infused with lightning? Or does it just mean that it does more damage because it's loud when you punch things with it? It does like a gagoing that just hurts people more than the actual impact. I need to make more gagong weapons in my campaigns. That's amazing. Fighters player.
Fuck the monarchy! No one should rule by birthright! I attack the king!
The king, whose bloodline was literally blessed by the kingdom's patron deity, received additional blessings from said deity when he was officially crowned king, and regularly trains with the kingdom's elite paladins in case something like this happens. Ting! Nice knife. Yeah, I think like in a universe where gods are kind of real, and you have a king that is blessed by their god, you should probably think twice before trying to stab them, you know? I don't see that ending well. Government hiring the party because they're stronger than their soldier. Government hiring the party to maintain plausible deniability. I suppose it depends on the quest as well. I think my favorite quest I've done so far, I mean, apart from main quests, which is like the silliest made-up stuff I made in the moment, was in the city, in actually the campaign I'm running now in the main capital. There is a barracks and an archery range across the road from each other, and the soldiers in both of these places have a bit of a rivalry between each other. You know, it's like two rival high schools, basically. So first, the players went to the barracks, and they said, here's a carton of eggs. If you egg the archery range in the middle of the night, we give you 10 gold. And then the players went to the archery range, and they said, here's a carton of eggs. If you egg the barracks, we'll give you 10 gold. So of course the players egged both the places, but only used one carton to do so, because now they had a lot of eggs, so they could keep some of the eggs for feeding themselves on their next journey, and also cashed in double gold. And then they fled the town before the guards figured out what they had actually done. I love coming up with like small bullshit missions. It's so fun. But yeah, I know, lizard folk don't have bobs, I get it.
It's okay, we do, just don't tell everyone. It makes some people mad.
Huh? Ah,
Blushies.
the lack of snipples is anatomically interesting. They are retractable and potentially poisonous. Do what you will with that information. Oh, wait a second. So if I, hypothetically, create a lizard rogue with retractable poisonous snipples, you can literally seduce people and just, like, kill them when you take your shirts off. This is so... oh my god! This feels very homebrewy, but I'm very down with it. Poison boobs. Hell yeah. My rolls out of combat, so it's so smooth. My rolls during combat. Man, I feel this. I had an adventure recently where one of our party mates was like a field medic. It was a bit of a homebrew kind of class, and I got an arrow in my knee in true Skyrim fashion, and instead of pulling the arrow out, they rolled a critical one, and I lost my leg. Then I got a stab in my other leg, and they rolled a critical one again, so I lost my leg. So I replaced my legs with a bicycle wheel and a sledge. So I was like, you know, on one foot on a wheel, and then like moving my way forward with a sledgehammer, and then using that as a weapon to smash people. And then the party got wiped because in this homebrew we were so underpowered and tried to attack two guards, and we just got party wiped. They shot 2 arrows and everyone died. We sucked so bad. Oh my god. D&D with non-native English speakers. DM, the door is ajar.
How is the door ajar?
Oh, it's slightly open.
Oh, I climb into the jar.
No. You start in a tavern, counting out 5,000 gold from your last quest. Drinks on me! Later.
The toll for crossing my bridge is 5,000 gold. Oh, that's all.
Then you just stab the troll, and you have like 4,000 gold left, or however much you drank, and you also get to pass the bridge. But yeah, I have learned that stuff like this is way better to improvise, because the players never catch on to it, honestly. It's just, no. It's that kind of thing where you ask, like, how much gold do you have? Oh, we have 500. It's 500 across the bridge. You know, it's that kind of vibe.
Are you alright, fair lady?
Yes, thank you. Angie? Angela? Hello? Earth calling Angie? She's been like this since Mark promised he would play with us from time to time.
Did you manage to finish your character? Oh yeah, not sure how it will work out, but I tried to make him endearing and fun.
Enthusiastic nodding!
Just as you prepare to leave the tavern, the doors swing open, and a towering fur-bulk barbarian squeezes through the doorframe. The jovial giant appears to seek a party to join on another adventure. so much for D&D love interests. Aw, heck yeah. This is from Tales from the Tables, episode 26, Expectations. It's so good. I feel like this has happened to people more often than you might think, honestly, where it's like, ooh, there's a little bit of spice across the table, and you try to spice it up, but someone always picks a character that's just completely incompatible, and it just gets really weird really fast. Hey, DM, what inspired you to make this campaign? Lord of the Rings / The Hobbit, Harry Potter, Narnia, Conan, older D&D modules, Hom 3, Warhammer. So I was reading this historical document. But that's kind of a vibe, though. One day I would love to make a really dark campaign. The one I'm working on right now is called Shangiria, which is really fun. It's more like a lighthearted adventure that has a few like ties across the map and stuff, a few hidden conspiracies, different factions. It had a massive trade route, the West India trade route that goes out, and then it goes to the Acer Forge, which is pretty cool. It's like dwarves that use cold instead of heat to forge special weapons, which are a key in the main campaign, like how to break through certain barriers and stuff, and they have armor penetration abilities because they're so sharp. Think like super dwarven obsidian, basically. That's what it is. And then the dwarves also have another forge, which is Crimson Forge, where they use a volcano to melt metal that normally wouldn't be meltable. Very cool. Wonderful oases are just high all the time. Very good place to sell drugs. The universe is constantly expanding. Hell yeah. DM. It appears you have to wade across this river. It's about 5 feet deep and 60 feet across. Everyone roll a perception check before you start. Party, everyone but fighter fails. DM. Okay, Jill, roll me a wisdom check. 6. You see a sign on the bank, but you interpret it to mean there are no predators in the water. Cocked eyebrow. Jill, what did the sign say? Crocodiles do not swim here. When commas are really important. Don't worry, guys. It said there are no crocodiles swimming here. Don't worry. We're fine. We're fine. Let's go. Let's go in. This is so perfect. The Dread Helm. Wondrous item. Common. This fearsome steel helm makes your eyes glow red when you wear it. It looks like it certainly belongs in some sort of dungeon. What kind of dungeon, might you ask? Yes, indeed. I need to do that too, honestly. I just need to have a side adventure at some point where they go into a dungeon and it just turns out to be like an orgy cult. And then the players can choose if they want to eradicate it or if they want to join in. Probably depends on the purity level of the team. It's gonna be an interesting combo with the paladins and rogues.
Hello, human. My name is Loth. I have recently moved into town. I have been told humans show their teeth to each other as a sign of friendship and to reassure one another. Am I doing it right? Are you feeling relaxed and reassured?
Hey? Are you... Man, that's just wholesome and cute, isn't it? That is beautiful. I appreciate this. At least they're trying. This is how I feel when I try to fit in with a new group of friends or something. This hits very close to home, doesn't it? The official damage types in 5e D&D. D&D 5e damage types: slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, cold, poison, acid, psychic, fire, necrotic, radiant, force, blueberry, thunder. Oh, lightning. Yes, I guess thunder is just noise. I guess it makes sense, like when you smack people with instruments and stuff. The noise just scrambles your brain a bit. I'm a little bit concerned what the blueberry means, though. What does the blueberry mean? It's Greg, our missing party member. Open the gate! He's being chased by giants. Close the gate! Greg is a dwarf. Open the gate! Just a little! That is so nice. Oh my god. Wait, if the entire party are dwarves, can you build gates and fortifications and houses only dwarves can fit through it? And if they're attacked by, for example, giants or trolls, they literally cannot, like, get into the fort? That is so good. Oh my god, that's so good. Ooh, I'm gonna implement that, because I haven't actually constructed the forge settlements yet in my adventure. I think I'll do it so most entryways and stuff are just dwarven-sized. So all party members have to, like, crawl through it unless they're very tiny themselves. So if there's any fighting or something in those halls, they are at a disadvantage because they can't stand fully and they get stuck when trying to swing their weapons and stuff. That is, that's kind of a cool twist of, like, dwarven strongholds. It's just small and cramped so regular armies can't really fit to fight effectively. That is really smart. I'm gonna use this. When the DM sets a scene, the party.
I am a little quiet angel.
when the DM monologues as the BBEG. I cast Fireball!
Stab that ass! Oh, give me that ass, big boy!
Ah, the dream party, at least they're enthusiastic. POV, the DM is sick of your high AC build.
Oh yes, all the rolls, all the rolls. Statistically speaking, you're not going to survive this.
No, hell no!
Blushing? Don't tell me it's a female vampire. Oh, my lord. She might have the tit, but infant children she bit. Van Helsing, before staking Lucy. Ooh, that's a good quote. Hell yeah, that's a really good quote. Nice. Oh, she needs to be staked hard. Okay, no. No. This is getting cursed very quickly. You know what's not cool, Bobby? Bullying one of the best tabletop content creators till they quit. Oh, is this about JoeCat? That was so heckin' sad. JoeCat even made plushies with makeshift that were really cute, like the goblin plushies. They were so nice. What happened about that was so absolutely ridiculous. They made a little video animation of like the girls they liked, and I think it was titled, "I'm gay for girls." And it was like a kind of flamboyant way of saying like what kind of women he likes, which is like all of them. It was very like body positive and kind of a cute animation. And they got bullied for it. It's absolutely insane. I just don't get it. Out of all the things to throw hate at online, that's what you choose? A silly animation? People online suck, man. Like, I don't know if it's just me being old, but something about the internet is feeling more and more hostile over the last few years. Like, I don't know if it's just me that I'm more exposed to a wider community and stuff nowadays, and I'm just not in my own little bubble anymore, but man, some stuff just blows my mind. That people actually engage with these sort of things is kind of alien to me. It's absolutely wild. I really hope JoeCat is doing well. No one deserves that kind of shit. It's absolutely atrocious. DMs writing literal masterpieces for the law of their world that only 4 to 6 people will be able to read. I mean, that's kind of why I talk about my world building in these videos, because it feels very satisfying when you spend like hours and hours and weeks constructing these things, and then there's only your 4 drunk friends that ever engage with it. But it's really fun to retell in videos and stuff as stories, because then you experience it with your friends, and then that creates like a storyline and really cool things. And I have a lot of stories like that from adventures I played with friends or played for friends, and it's absolutely amazing. And I think that's a good way of seeing it. Like, you create the adventure together, but you just write the world around it. Why I use candy for enemy minis?
You didn't put candy down for the map for this NPC.
That's right.
So I won't get candy if I kill them?
That's right. It's like positive reinforcement. If it's an enemy, they are a candy, so you can eat it when they die. If it's a friendly NPC, like a merchant or something, it's not a candy, so you don't get a candy if you kill this innocent NPC. Ooh, I might use this. This is really smart. DM prepares detailed backstories and purpose for everything and everyone in a meticulously handcrafted world for the players to interact with. The party. Chaos flame. The world shall burn and blend yet again into one. That was actually the first ending I ever got in Elden Ring, completely by mistake. It was like, ooh, what is this cool hole? Oh, it gave me glowing eyes, how badass. And then I went and killed the final boss and be like, oops, the world seems to have melted. Yeah, I don't know. My friend looked at me weird when I said that, and they were like, fam, I think you have some issues. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That makes me interesting. r/xd #quirky. DM, stealth is optional for this mission. Me and the party. What is this movie? Everything is made of cardboard. Why do I feel like this is me in any RPG game? This reminds me so much of the first time I played Skyrim, and I was doing the College of Winterhold questline, you know, the mage stuff, but I was already a super buff, like, double sword-handed build who was just armored to the teeth. I didn't cast a single spell in the entire mission. I remember when I got a mage coming up to me and be like, "You have no chance against me!" Stab, and just split him in half right away. I am the best mage ever. Archmage? I haven't cast a single spell in my entire playthrough. What do you mean, Archmage? I feel like this very much also applies to, like, Helldivers. Oh my god, I'm way too addicted to that game. It's so good, man. It's so good. Dungeons and Dragon question. What's a more dangerous character to have in your party? Lawful evil or chaotic evil? Easy answer. True neutral. Those players and their characters fucking scare me. That's true, yeah, because they just do whatever they want. They don't care. They don't have any motivators. They're completely unpredictable. Like, lawful evil would be a very structured evil character. Like, they're scheming and stuff. They're very, like, meticulous, like an engineer or, like, a master villain, that kind of thing. Chaotic evil is just a hyper sadist that just wants to see everything suffer and burn. So... It depends, I suppose. Do you want a calculating villain or an insane villain? Or just true neutral that doesn't care about anything? Vampire-powered piston engine. Holy water and blood. Holy water is squirted into the piston well. Vampire collapses into a pile of dust. Piston goes down. Blood is squirted into piston well. Vampire regenerates, pushing piston up. Repeat. Holy water and blood are universally available, renewable, and environmentally friendly substances. This makes the vampire engine an unmatched source of cheap green power.
Don't you mean red power? Got him.
And since vampires are cursed by God, they can theoretically be used forever. God's wrath is infinite. Although a vampire engine is too large to fit in moving vehicles, they are perfect medium-sized power plants for towns and factories.
I think you can probably fit one on a ship.
Maybe I'll have this in that airship shop I'm planning to have for my players on their next adventure, so they can install a propeller engine and not only rely on sails, and it's powered by a vampire piston. So the only thing they have to do is catch a vampire. Oh, that is so good. At least these annoying parasites come in useful. Note that in engines using multiple vampires, the rates of collapse and regeneration must be closely matched to avoid piston knock. Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe you can use like one big piston and multiple vampires in one. That might also actually work if you're just counting the force, so to say.
How to set difficulty classes in a game of D&D? DC 0, simple task, no real chance of failure. DC 10, good chance of success. DC 15, tough task. DC 20, really super hard. DC 25, players didn't bring snacks for the DM. DC 30, keeping a job at Wizards of the Coast.
Whoops! Come to Dungeon Meshi. We have Urban Elf. Doesn't really care about nature that much. Nature Dwarf. Cares a lot about ecosystem, has no interest in blacksmithing. I mean, one of the episodes is literally about how he doesn't sharpen his axe, and he used the adamantium for his cooking pot instead. I love the characters in this anime, it's so good. Halfling Rogue who actually feels bad about stealing from someone else. Blonde generic human fighter, trademark, and yet the weirdest person in the group. The healer, dead since episode 1. Somehow, this just encapsulates the spirit of every D&D party I have ever had. It's just a complete mess. That rogue thing really strikes a nerve. I've noticed that role-playing as characters who like go too hard against who you are as a person is really difficult. I remember we had an adventure where we would like purposefully scramble characters. It was like a one-shot side mission kind of thing where you like brain swap or something like that. And people woke up in different bodies and different characters, which was super hard because all of a sudden one of my like quite kind of introverted friends were playing as a super flirtatious charisma elf girl. And it just didn't work out. They were just having like a crisis the entire match. So yeah, nah, it's good that people choose their own characters. I have been experimenting with that stuff, and it usually doesn't work that well. Sometimes it can be fun, but it's very unlikely that the whole group is going to be comfortable enough. Unless they're drunk enough, then it might work. Double checking if 1:30 to 4:30 would work for folks tomorrow before I confirm sitter. Good for me.
Me too. Oh yeah, it's good for us.
Every participant in a D&D game confirms availability remotely in less than a minute. We should stop to appreciate the beauty of this moment, as it will never happen again.
Going to post this on the D&D subreddit and harvest thousands of upvotes and turn them directly into dopamine.
That is beautiful, though. To this day, I don't think I've actually managed... Oh, no, actually one exception. Once, in the past roughly 5 years, I've managed to get the entire group chat together for an adventure. Because everyone is adults and 30 plus now, and everyone has jobs or kids or whatever, so what we have started doing is that as long as most people can show up, we still make it happen. Because that's the way to like keep it cycling and not cancel every single time. Because if you have a decently large group, it's almost impossible that everyone will join every time. So it sort of works. One time a guy even joined on Zoom. It worked out so-so.
Hi, Billy. This is someone who played D&D before the year 2000.
Oh, we thought about encounters in practical terms and tracked our resources.
I roll investigation and survival checks to do the adventuring for me. Text me when it's my turn in combat. Dunk, bitch! Ah! Oh, God!
The desecration of the holy texts.
I have had and seen players who, when presented with an area to investigate or a person to talk to, would just say, I roll investigation/persuasion with no follow-up at all, like on how or what they would say, or even a theme of dialogue. Sure, you can do that in a way, but it's the most boring way you could play D&D. I have encountered this a couple of times as a DM, and the way I have solved it is that I need the player to solve two things. The role is basically how well they convince the world they're in of what they're doing. You know, how well their compliment lands, or how well their seduction lands, or whatever. And then they have to convince me, the dungeon master, that this is doable, and that's what they do with the voice line. If you're gonna flirt with the person in the bar, you need to actually say the voice line, you know? Or if you're gonna ask the king to hand over the crown of the kingdom for no reason, you still have to, you know, say it. But if it's too outrageous, it doesn't matter how high you roll. You know, you could be the most charismatic person in the world, no one is gonna hand over their crown just like that, just because you're charismatic, you know? So it's like, it's a two-dimensional convincing system. One part is convincing the DM with the actual lines you're using and the context, and the other thing is simply rolling a die for the randomizer and the stats. DM. And what's the most important thing of being a bard? Consent? Rules, lawyer, this is good, this is good, this is progress. When you roll a nat 20, but the DM say, it doesn't hit, well, frick. No one. Artificers, Arrowhead of total destruction. Metal retainer safety pin removed before using weapon. Metal cage to hold tube and bag. Small bag of holding, wait, is this going where I think it is? Arrow shaft, portable hole, wooden retainer stick, penetrates cage, staves, and tube. Holds tubes in place, breaks when tubes strike surface. Operation. Arrow is fired at any surface or object. Aim is unimportant as long as arrow hits within 10 feet of target. When arrow strikes a surface, the tube containing a portable hole is forced into the bag of holding, and the device self-destructs as it opens a rift in the astral plane and sucks anything within 10 feet into the rift. Is this just a black hole arrow? It's just a black hole arrow, isn't it? Destroying an entire 10-foot radius sphere around the point of impact. Made by Alex. This is so good. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to homebrewing stuff. It can just get to such ridiculous conclusions, which I kind of like because it's still following the D&D logic. That's something I've always appreciated. Someone being like, oh, I do this impossible thing just because in high roll is kind of boring. But if you actually think something through, and you manage to literally engineer something within the rules of the books, ooh, there's just some part of my engineering brain that tingles. Okay, I'll just confess my feelings to her directly. Persuasion check, 1. Critical failure. My dear Friedman, I love you, and I ask you to be with me.
Of course you do. I'm the best mage out there, and I'm already with you, aren't I?
Sob! Barbarian.
I have died too many times. Now I'm not naming any names. Cleric
Who healed over 400 hit points of damage today? There is a limit to how much you can do, okay? The party stands at the crossroads and decide which of the two towns they want to go to. But they only have the illusion of choice since I have prepared only one town for this session. Players decide to split up and visit both towns. Players decide to split up and visit both towns? Oh, no. Don't split up the party. Don't split up the party. I remember when we did this. Too bad, one time. I wasn't the dungeon master, luckily, one of my friends were. The party split in half once, and then one of the halves split in half again, so there were like 3 different party sections running around. So the DM just started wiping us out until it came back together. I think I blew up inside of a house, which was a little bit self-inflicted, perhaps. But it was just like, no, if you venture too far from the group, shitty things start happening. Get back together and be friends. A couple of really good rules I have learned when I do dungeon mastering is don't split up the party, is a really good rule. Another rule, if you're just starting to make adventures, make it a one-shot as your first time as a dungeon master, and make the area limited. I think one of the first adventures I ever made completely on my own was the party was stranded on an island as a one-shot adventure, and the mission was to find an escape away from it. And it turns out the island was cursed, there was like an old overlord on this island, and everyone seemed young, but that's because the overlord had a curse where he stole the life force from the other people living on the island when they reached a certain age. So there was no one above like the age of 30 on the island, which looked really odd at first, and then they like uncovered this whole conspiracy on the curse, and eventually the island sunk into the ocean, and there was like a floating ship that was stuck on a mountaintop, because that's when the curse had first originated. So having like small limited adventures like that is good, because players can't just, you know, wander off. It's like, nah, it's the end of the map, literally. So that's a really good way of doing it. Limit how much frickery they can do. Noble paladin with lovingly written 8-page backstory dies 20 minutes into adventure. Noble paladin with lovingly written 8-page sibling revenge backstory joins adventure 20 minutes later. It's like, oh, my character I put a lot of love into died. Say hello to my character's twin, baby.
Dear dwarves, it seems I was too rude when communicating with you. Let me settle this confusion with a cold bottle of beer.
This beer has a strange taste.
Of course, it's non-alcoholic.
Was that on purpose? I think it's on purpose. Oh god.
Me! I tried to seduce the dragon.
The dungeon master, how would you even do that?
Me!
Oh yeah, that is very smexual indeed. Oh my god, yes, this is some real seduction. I like how the dragon is just one single frame. God, I feel this every time I'm trying to seduce stuff in D&D games. This is exactly how I pictured. I seduce them, and then you do your silly thing for seduction while the enemy's just staring at you like... Alright, are they done? Alright, fine, stab! Or in this case, munch, I suppose. I see you furries out there. I see you looking at this and being like, I know exactly where this is going. Cease! This is a PG Christian Minecraft channel. God.
Mom, I had a nightmare. Can I sleep with you?
Oh, sweetie, of course you can.
Mom, I can't sleep.
Come hither, thou.
Caw!
Get in. Oh, it's the entire party of just misfits sleeping. It's so cute. Maybe I should implement this for an adventure. Like, there's only one bed in every single inn. Isn't that beautiful? Why is there only one bed in every inn? What the frick? This is from Scale and Tail. Knights and Mares. That is so beautiful. Hell yeah. The wholesome celestial warlock, her patron, ready to throw hands after she was insulted. The wholesome D&D vibes. They are rare, but they do exist. You guys don't play as much D&D since Judith joined our game. Kick her out of the game. She is ruining our shenanigans and yours. This graph should illustrate our point. Before Judith, our fun level was at an all-time high, 93%. It is now an 8. Oh, this feels like r/RPG horror stories. Let's check the comments, shall we? This is gonna be juicy. A guy got kicked after session 1. He cheated so he could look like the hero, and his character was kind of a butt for no reason. Cheating at D&D is about as low as you can get while staying safe for work. It's in the same tier as hacking an online board game. It's just so weird. It's so much about the roleplay and the friend and the adventure building. Like, cheating at it is so odd. I mean, there's an exception for the dungeon master, right? Because you cheat all the time to, like, make it interesting. You know, if there's a close call with someone dying or something, you might, like, squeeze the dice a little bit to make it more exciting and to either drag it out or, you know, make sure they don't go in the wrong direction, something like that. Cheating as the dungeon master is fine. I think that's the entire point with hiding your dice, so to say, so you can program the adventure a bit. But like, cheating as a player, bruh. She showed up, joined our tonally serious campaign that we communicated was tonally serious, and made a joke character. That joke character then proceeded to be a murder hobo, attacking a shopkeeper for no reason and killing him. And after being warned that an attack against this shopkeeper would kill him, and that would have consequences in-game. She did it anyway, then fought a bunch of guards and lost, was arrested, and the party simply didn't break her out of prison, because why would any of them risk themselves myself for this murderer who joined their group yesterday. So I gave her the option to make a new character. She declined. So I just kicked her from the group because God, she derailed that entire session and then wasn't willing to work with us to get a new character that better fit the tone and feel of the game. One good way of dealing with stuff like this, I haven't had a lot of issues with this lately because the group is pretty tight-knit and everyone is kind of in on what kind of adventure we're going for, but when stuff like this happens, a really good way is just giving whatever they're doing plot armor. It's like, oh, this merchant is a retired super wizard, you know, and the reason they have a little magic shop is because they have adventured for 50 years and know, like, amazing doom spells. They literally have plot armor. Stuff like that you can always do. Or just lock them up like this did. This seems like a very good way of keeping it kind of canonically, so to say. You just end up in jail. There's no way you can defeat the entire town guard by yourself. But it's still annoying because I imagine this derailing probably took 2 hours. A friend of mine constantly argued with me about my rulings and asked for homebrew magic items. One good way with homebrew magic items is to use like the framework of power that is in the original game. Kind of. That's a really good way of doing it. So people can have their own spells, but they like you balance the power, so to say. If you are level 2 and you have some little spell, it should be sort of equivalent in power to what a level 2 spell would be in the original books. That's a pretty good way to go about it. Also, he described his character's actions as if he were in an anime, which didn't fit the campaign. Here is an example. Him.
I cast Searing Smite. My blade gets as hot as the sun's surface and burns through the body in front of me. The blade just evaporates everyone.
Me. Wait a second. Roll to hit first, then describe what you do. He hits and rolls for damage. Him.
That's 6 points of slashing damage and 4 points of fire damage.
Me. Okay, so you slash at the steel defender. The metal bends where you hit it. It took a little bit of damage. The biggest issue was that he was only there for random sessions usually, and he forgot or had to do some random urgent tasks. Nowadays, I learned how to clearly communicate my boundaries with him. So much that him being unreliable or argumentative during sessions probably won't affect me anymore. I would just kick him again and move on. We're still friends IRL though. I mean, that's a pretty good way to go about it. It's like when you separate friendships from business, right? But separate friendships from tabletop drama. Hell yeah. I had a dude who asked 3 different people over DMs if they could be friends with benefits in various gross ways within a week. Needless to say, they were not interested and we dropped his butt. I swear to God, this whole comment section is just a mini version of RPG horror stories. Oh, I've been thinking about making a video about that. Would you like to see that? Would you like to see that? Let me know in the comments. RPG horror stories is kind of interesting. I have a few friends around me that have some of those horror stories too. And it goes everything from like weird inserted romantic drama to people just not getting along to people getting genuinely offended when something happens to their character. It's wild, man. It's wild.
Do a six with me?
UND Bard with -2 in charisma?
I have about the same charisma as this random cow turd.
The overpowered armor dip wizard as soon as I introduce him to carry weight. His 8 strength is barely enough to lift his plate armor.
Someone freaking help me!
Oh, I love myself some femboy wizards not being able to carry equipment. Heck yeah. I think 8 strength should be enough to carry armor though, although with speed penalties, but yeah, I can see where this is coming from. That's pretty funny.
Darn kids these days using AI programs to create avatars for the D&D characters. Back in my day, we used to steal pictures from Google image search that looked sort of what we had in mind for our characters, but holding the wrong weapon. Here is my tabaxi fighter with katana.
Honestly, one decent way of doing this is use something like Hero Forge, or you can use something like Skyrim. You know, if you have like a warrior orc, for example, just make a character in Skyrim and just take a screenshot and print it. That works relatively well as a starting step.
Oh my god!
Hey, what's going on?
Sick bastard!
Dragonborn, tail, and hair.
The 2 greatest sins! Oh my god! Are we lost?
No. The mayor told us that the town mascot was last seen around here. For 50 gold pieces, we can stomach a small stroll in a mine. Maybe we can even find some treasure. And again, how hard can it be to find a little lamb? Ominous chanting stops. Why is it always cultists?
That is so beautiful.
It feels sort of like a Skyrim dungeon, doesn't it? When it's like the Draugrs for the 50th time.
Why are there so many grave sites? There are barely enough cities in this world to have this many dead people.
Rolls to alarm your players via rolling tables guess. Number 1, roll 1d10 and say, oof. Roll 2d6, 1d8 and 3d12s. Roll 1d6, 4d8s and 1d12. And if asked, say, oh, it's nothing. Roll 14d20s. Number 5. Roll 3d6 and silently shake your head. Roll 3 d12s and 2 d20s. Roll 1d4, 1d6 and 2 d10s. Roll 7 d10. Roll 4 d10s. Look alarmed and then quickly try to cover it up. Roll 3 d10s. Roll 1 d10 and 2 d12s. Roll 3 d20s. Look at one of your players for a second and then silently roll another d20.
Or just roll this. Get up and quietly leave the room for 10 minutes. D30. Have you heard of a super crit? Woohoo!
Your dwarven female, my dwarven female, oh yes indeed.
Doesn't this kind of thing originally come from Tolkien, with the fun fact that he hadn't thought through, like, the genders of dwarves and that kind of stuff? So it just ended up being something that was kind of left out, but then just start talking about, like, the female dwarves having beards and stuff as well. I think it comes from something like that, doesn't it? It's kind of a funny backstory.
The druid the DM thinks I'm going to play versus
The druid I'm actually going to play, oh yeah. Weed bro, druid, let's go!
wife. How was your D&D session?
The D&D session.
Boy, little trash goblin.
Oh, pretty average, but I enjoyed it.
What do you mean pretty average? That looks epic! So, are you like gay or something? What? What pride flag is that?
Yes. DM, what's your AC? What's your current HP?
What's your max HP? Oh god, he's gonna nuke us.
Reese! Grandma, I told you not to bother me when I'm doing my solo campaign. So you don't need your cloak?
And he has a little cloak. Wait a second, is this AI generated? That's not a proper amount of fingers. Hold on, is this just like AI generated stuff overlaid on other AI generated stuff as PNG images? I mean, it's just for a meme, I suppose, but saying you made a comic with AI sounds a bit odd, I suppose. Although the comic gets a wholesome stamp, though. It's really sweet and cute, I'll give it that.
Town mayor, and this is the well that the entire town used for drinking water.
The warlock with poison spray. Oh, yes, indeed. Resist the intrusive thoughts. The intrusive thoughts shall not be resisted. Well, laddies, lasses, and lassos, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here, you wonderful, beautiful being. Remember to check out the links in the description to the comics and stuff that were featured in this video, and I will see you again in the very near future. Take care, you wonderful beings. Mwah.